Hello viewers, this is Big Head Django and welcome to the Series 10 Auction House Guide. So as is customary, let's first take a look at all the cars I invested in during the previous series. Series 9 only had the Plymouth Barracuda and the Dodge Super B as series cars, so those are the obvious ones I invested in. You'll also notice I bought a few Extreme cars from this series, and I will talk about that in a few minutes. But first, let's take a look at all the cars I managed to sell. A lot of these cars are from previous series 6 and 7, 8 and so on. Cars that I've been sitting on for a very long time, and because I do end up sniping a lot of seasonal cars, it sort of makes sense for me to just wait, be patient and sell them whenever I am in need of credits instead of always trying to sell them off immediately. Now I'll take you through the excruciatingly long process of collecting credits from all the sold cars. I am gonna skip ahead through this because it does take quite a while even when sped up, and we'll slow down towards the end. I'll buy a cheaper car that I sold and then just max out my credit limit at that 1 billion cap. So there we go, another successful series. And as always, this brings me to the credit giveaway. So it's very simple. All you need to do is share your gamer tag in the comments down below or join our Discord server. It's much easier to communicate through Discord, and the server has a few other people other than me helping out. So the next thing you need to do is list your junk or duplicate cars in the auction house for 24 hours. That's important. If you don't list them for 24 hours, we may not be able to get them. And it also helps you out if you list cars that are over 100,000 credits, because that way you get to have more credits and we get to help out more players. That's all there is to it. So if you are in need of credits, be sure to hit me up or join the Discord server. And with that out of the way, let's talk about the cars to snipe in Series 10. So here is a list of all the seasonal cars in Series 10. And as always, you want to completely skip all the repeat cars. The cars that have been repeated will have absolutely no value in the auction house. Their prices are going to crash, absolutely crash, and they're mostly going to be worthless in the coming months, for the coming months. So to start off, we have the number 58 Extreme. Yes, it is a seasonal car. And we also have the Razor Tachyon Speed, which is a repeat car. Easy to skip over that. Both of these are series reward cars, so you need 80 and 160 points to get the respective car. In summer, we have the first of 4 Porsches, the number 23917. Now, while this is a seasonal car, the lowest it can be sold for is 8 million. The auction house is sort of flooded with these. While this is a seasonal car, not everyone is going to be comfortable investing in an 8 million car. I would never recommend investing in an 8 million seasonal car. Only invest in this car if you have a lot of spare credits, or if you are a legendary tuner or painter, in which case eventually down the line you can sell these for 20 million when they become more rare. Next up, we have the Noble M600, a repeat car, easy to skip. And then we have the number 44 and the number 42 Extreme E cars. Now, to be very clear, all the Extreme E cars in this playlist are seasonal, meaning that once the series ends, there will be no other way to acquire them except for the auction house. But if you check the auction house right now, both of these cars have hundreds of listings. Nobody's buying them. Nobody seems to be interested because it's understandable. It's not a very good car, and the only difference between all 10 cars is the livery, and the livery alone. The performance is exactly the same in all cars, so it sort of makes sense why. But like I said, these are seasonal. Once the series changes, there will be no way to acquire these cars. So eventually, in a month or 2 months or 3 months from now, these cars are going to be rare and they are going to rise in value. So even if it doesn't seem that way right now, they are worth investing in. But if you are uncomfortable, you don't have to. And if you're unsure, you can always get a few, maybe 2 or 3 or 5. That is what I would recommend. 5 each, and just sit on them, wait for the prices to rise, because they are definitely going to be worth more than 2 or 3 million in about a month from now. Moving on, autumn gives us the 1995 Porsche 911 Carrera 2 by Gunther Works. We also have the Ferrari F8 Tributo, which was featured like 2 series ago, I think. It was a 20 million car 2 weeks ago, but now it's going to be worthless. We also have the number 23 and the number 5 Extreme E cars. In winter, we have the Porsche 356C Cabriolet. Even though the short name for this car shows it as 64, the year of the car in the game is actually 1960, so not sure what's going on there. Probably a simple mistake by the devs. We also have the KTM X-Pro GT4, another 20 million car that is now worthless. Then we have the Extreme E number 55 and number 22. And finally in spring we have the 1990 Porsche 911 reimagined by Singer. One of the new Porsches and absolutely worth getting. It's a seasonal car going to rise in value, followed by the 1990 Vauxhall Lotus Carlton. This car was introduced several series ago and it is the first time it has been reintroduced. An extremely rare car, but again not going to be of much value going forward. To top everything off, we have the Extreme E number 6 and number 125. That's it for all the seasonal playlist cars. These are all the ones you need to look out for. Snipe, collect a few, 5, 10, however much you're comfortable with. Wait on them for at least 2 to 3 weeks and then sell them off when they are at peak value. I also want to talk about sniping a little bit. So sniping is about buying a extremely expensive car for very cheap. For example, the 2021 911 GT3. It can be sold in the auction house for a max price of 20 million credits, which is the max limit, but it can also be sold for 138,000 credits, which is next to nothing. And there are people who do sell this car for that price. So if you go to the auction house and search for this car, there are only a few listings for 20 million. It does sell quite easily, and now if I lower the max buyout to 10 million, there's no more listings. So what sniping entails is basically buying the car as cheap as you can. I usually use 2 million as a buyout limit. You can go higher up to 5 million, the max I would recommend for the buyout limit. But here's the thing, if you cannot snipe at 2 million, you're not going to be able to snipe at 5 million, because most of these cars that are listed for cheap are listed under 2 million most of the time. So it doesn't really make that much of a difference if you use 5 million as a max buyout limit. And what you want to do is you want to keep refreshing the search over and over again until a cheap listing shows up, and then you want to use quick buyout to immediately buy out the car. So the way quick buyout works is that when a listing shows up, you use the Y button for auction options, and then you go down and quickly buy out the car. You need to do this process extremely quickly. That is the only way you're ever going to be able to buy out a car. Now keep in mind, you will be trying to snipe these cars against other players. Sniping is about that skill of pressing the buttons very quickly, but it's also about luck and patience. You need a lot of patience because you can sometimes go hours without seeing any listings, any cheap listings. Now here I am trying to snipe the Audi RS4 Avant, and this is what the button presses sort of need to look like. Even though it looks very fast here, the listing itself took forever to load and it do fail the auction. But yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. So let's talk about cars that you can flip if you're good enough and lucky enough to snipe them for cheap. So first up, we have the 2021 McLaren 765 LT. This goes for 20 million max buyout. Next we have the Ferrari SF90, another 20 million buyout car. The Audi RS4 Avant, of course. We also have the 2021 Porsche 911 GT3 and the two cars from the previous series, Series 9, the Dodge Super B and the Plymouth Barracuda. Both of these selling for 19 million at this moment. A lot of listings, a lot of panic selling going on here, but still worth sniping for less than 2 million. And another one to look out for is the Booling Sunshine. This one is also a 20 million car and one of the oldest, rarest cars in the game. And that is all for the Series 10 auction house guide. I hope all of this information helps you out if you're looking to make credits in the game. Of course, we have the credits giveaway, so you can join in for that. Leave a comment down below or join the Discord server. And now it is back to the Hot Wheels DLC for me. I still have a lot of challenges to complete. Haven't made it to X class right now, but yeah, getting there and really having a good time. It's actually a very fun map to drive around in. The tracks are very nice, the races are pretty good. Wish there were more of those, but yeah, if you happen to have got the DLC, I hope you're having as much fun with it as I am. So yeah, this is the end of the video. Be sure to drop a like, it really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel for more Forza Horizon content. This is Big Head Django, auction house, billionaire, mogul, car trader, signing off. As always, have fun, stay safe. See you in the next one.